if you have an opinion on something, you should speak about it, use your voice and influence change.
Hi everyone, my name is Martin Luato, and today I'm privileged to have Aaliyah on my podcast. Right, as you all know that I advocate for a lot of stuffs. I talk about leadership, I talk about artificial intelligence, I talk about great things that people does. Right, there's a recent publication that talks about anti-racism in education, right? And how your career and how your journey was able to shape that, right? So, and I think I was very inspired when I see this publication on BBC. And that's why I said that I'm going to look at Aaliyah, I'm going to talk about this because I feel like she's doing amazing thing. Before we dive into the work you've done, who is Aaliyah beyond the headlines and the campaigns,
Well, I'll start by introducing myself. My name is Aaliyah Likuluta. I am a youth advocate, so I advocate for young people to use their voices in spaces and also to inspire the future because they're the next generation. Originally, if you want to go back to my roots, I am from Kent, so I was born and raised here in Britain.
What actually shaped the kind of person you are today?
I'd probably say it's the experiences and the things that I went through growing up here in the UK.
Well, you were born British, so what did you go through? You're an immigrant, man.
Yeah, but it's so much deeper than that. You're having to prove yourself constantly.
Yeah.
And you're obviously faced with a lot of stereotypes like, oh, she's black, she's this, she's that. And you have to deal with, oh, she has attitude, she has... Like, it's just constantly having to prove yourself.
Was there a particular moment or experience that actually sparked your activism, especially in the, speaking for the youth, for anti-racism, within the education, within this?
It actually started in secondary school. I had gone through a lot of racism and discrimination, and a lot of my peers did as well. And we were constantly going to the teachers and they weren't doing anything about it. So, as I always say, if you want real change, it starts with you. So you have to be the change that you want to see. So I became head girl with my secondary school, and that's when I started the campaigns, and I joined all of these groups in order to take my campaign national.
Can you take us through one specific of your experience that it's a racist experience that you have that actually sparked, that kind of campaign that you were driving at that point in time?
There was this thing in school. They used to call it rap battles.
Yeah.
But really what it was a time for everybody to kind of just say racist remarks to me and call me things like a slave or a maid, like you should go back to your own country, all of those racist remarks.
Yeah.
And the thing is that I'm surrounded by so many white people, like it's just me. There's no one there to defend me. So I felt very powerless.
I can imagine how sad that could have been,
And the thing is, it wasn't only just physical, it was also online. They made a group chat called the Lily Hate Club.
I'm just trying to, imagine, how do you survive, this kind of experience, and how does it lead you to becoming the head girl of the school? Do you think you didn't face any, kind of restriction for you being the head girl? Imagine in a space that you don't want you, right? They speak all this kind of stuff about you, and eventually you become head girl.
I mean, obviously God plays a role in this, because obviously I was probably one of the most hated people in the school, and where the head girl election thing is, everybody has to vote.
And they still voted for you?
Yeah.
The same people that was saying bad thing about you still voted for you. Okay, people do this kind of election,
yeah.
What changed? These are people that they don't want you,
And obviously I put my manifesto, and that must have resonated with people. I think because of what everybody saw what I went through, and everyone's understood my vision more, understood that I want real change. My focus was more on making effective change in the school, creating a legacy, the change was already started. It's just that I needed the position.
Where does BBC comes in? Because I feel proud of you when I saw the post, because it's not about BBC talking about racism, right? It's, I think BBC captioned more or less about the anti-racism within the educational system, right? It's more or less like they use your story to push that wonderful narrative that needed to go, within the country, right? So how does your story get to BBC?
Where I developed my campaign, I now started volunteering with different organizations. And where I got that specific opportunity was from Midway African and Caribbean Association.
Wow.
They have a direct link with people like KMTV, BBC, and there was this reporter that was writing a piece about racism in schools. He heard about the panel that I was on at a policing event that was more focused on racism and how the police can also combat racism in the community. So he invited me along to share my story, and he said he wanted to use it in order to inspire the article.
It wasn't published that time. That's like how many years ago, right?
3 years ago.
So why now? Because I see how excited you are.
Yeah.
When eventually it gets published. Do you think BBC actually received backslash, or what takes them longer for them to publish?
Because obviously there's more important issues. That's how it is, unfortunately, in the media world. There'll be something that comes up and that has to take priority. And obviously I pushed them as well. Like, I kept going back to reporting and being like, oh, what's the progress? Is it going to be published? And then he would tell me, oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
It will be.
Congratulations. I think you're able to use your experience, your what you've been through to make a change within the society. And I think it's worth for a lot of people, immigrants, to actually emulate. So let's talk about youth voice and representation. You're a youth leader.
Yeah.
Right. How do you become youth leader?
It used to just be in Kent, and now it's more national representation. Funnily enough, if you asked me 5 years ago when I started my journey that I would be a young leader, I'd probably say you're crazy because I had immense stage fright, anxiety, no confidence at all. But I think passion, and I feel like that's the only explanation as to how I've come to become a representative of people. It's just something that I just got pushed into. It's not something that I chose.
So you're a student?
Yes, yeah. I study business and events management at the University of Hertfordshire.
Schooling, and every time you go to parliament to be the voice of the young people. So how do you balance those stuffs here?
It's just a matter of priorities. I won't lie, there is some times where I will skip out on class to go in, but it's because I know that I'm investing my time into my future. So I prioritize, like, let's say, for example, I have a speaking engagement in Manchester and got a piece of work that I have to do. I will just go to that one, come back, and then use my spare time to catch up on class.
So what advice will you give young people who want to challenge, I don't want to use the word institutional system, but I would say that they feel unheard, underqualified, they feel the racist, So having been in that space, what advice would you give to just kind of young people that have that kind of aspiration to do the same thing?
Your voice is your power. That's what I would say.
Your voice is your power.
Yeah. Your voice is what influences the future. So don't allow, institutionalized systems and social media convince you otherwise. Like, a lot of the time, you don't know, there's a lot of organizations that actually want to hear what young people have to say.
Yeah.
But the thing is that obviously, there's this thing called tokenism, and, it ends up being a thing where the young person is only there to just say what they want to say, and then they just tick a box to say, oh yeah, we've spoken to them, but there's no actual effective change.
Yeah.
If you have an opinion on something, you should speak about it. Use your voice and influence change.
Looking at the way you go, I've seen a lot of your stuff in the parliament. I've seen you going to parliament. I've seen you doing public speaking. I've seen you doing a lot of community engagement. How do you see your role evolving in the next few years? Politics, or are you saying more of policy making? Are you looking at more of community-led works?
It's a bit complex because The beginning of my journey started with just events, and now it's developed into politics and advising in policies and government. I don't really know what it looks like. I was thinking of going into policy advising because I feel like a lot of the roles and the things that I do is, shaping and advising policy for the future.
Has there been any policies that you've actually would say that, okay, this part of my, influence, you were directly involved in,
Yes, there's actually the recent one that was publicized in the news, which is the 16 to 17-year-olds being allowed to vote.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yes. So that campaign has been part of the UK Youth Parliament for 25 years.
Yeah.
We also worked on that campaign.
So you guys pushed for it?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was just game changing.
I see stuff that you do online, and I would say I'm one of your fans. I see how you push things yourself. So just to wrap it up, of course you're British here, but you're from, your parents are immigrants here.
Yes,
so what advice could you give immigrants, moving to United Kingdom, how they can also be part of the societal change? One basic advice that you can give. I myself, as an immigrant, there's a lot of stuff I feel like I could do more.
It starts with you, is what I would say. And I'd also say exactly what I would say to any young person. It doesn't matter if you're from this country or not. You still have something to bring in changing and shaping the future for the next generation. Use your voice. Social media is out there. Your voice is your power. I'm going back to that again. Social media is out there. You can even do it in your workplaces. It doesn't have to be extravagant. It can literally be from where you are at right now.
All right, thank you, Aaliyah. It's a privilege to have you on my podcast, and I think it's amazing, great stuff you've done, especially on that campaign, against the anti-racism and stuff, right? And the influence that you have on making younger people to be able to participate in the elections, and I hope I can bring you more and I can witness more of your policy influence. Thank you.